What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Retro Hoop Collectibles. It's gem rate time. Special shout out. I have no connection with these guys at all whatsoever, but I follow them on Instagram, and they do a great job of putting together data for the grading companies. Now, I know a lot of you folks joined the channel when I was doing my weekly PSA updates on how many cards they graded per week. I kind of felt like I was getting a little stagnant with the content. I'm just kind of doing that over and over again. It's just very repetitive, and I have severe ADHD, and I don't do well with routines, and so I have to keep things moving. So I'm happy that Gem Rate, you guys follow him on Instagram at GemRate, puts out this information on a monthly basis, which allows me to do what I like to do best, which is just kind of look at the information, analyze it, give you guys my opinions, so on and so forth. I mean, just ridiculous. Let's get right into the numbers. So here they are. 1.2 million cards graded by PSA. 121,000 cards graded by SGC. I think CSG and CGC had some pop report situations going on, so not all the data was there. But Beckett, 71,000 cards graded. This is for the month of March 2023. Sorry, trying to adjust my chair here. March 2023. And I mean, look, the numbers just kind of speak for themselves, right? So from February to March, 22% jump. That is a record high from as long as because I went back and looked at my data. That is an absolute record high for the last 2 years in terms of output. February up 24% year over year. So comparing February to last February, up 24% year over year, up 22% from February. Just the sheer amount of volume that PSA is putting out in terms of graded cards, obviously the big dog on the market. And again, I will continue to give this as a caveat, as we are seeing more and more and more issues with grading inconsistencies from PSA. You cannot achieve that level of output and maintain a quality service or product. I've been working in manufacturing and supply chain for almost 20 years now, and that is about as sure as taxes. So look, 1.2 million, that's ridiculous amount of volume. But even SGC, right? We're looking at 121,000, 31% jump from last month. And then Beckett, 71,000, 11% from last month. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Beckett over the next couple of months, given this whole debacle that they had at the Mint Collective. I did a video on that if you guys want to check that out, if you don't know what I'm talking about. But, you know, we're talking about how, you know, just overall the market is down, right? So if I was to go over to Card Hedge, let's take a look. Everything's pretty flat. So this is looking at about a year. So from last year, things are pretty flat. Going down, actually. So where are we at? Basketball, 181, 240. So everything's going down except for baseball. Baseball is just a chugging along, according to all the data. So just, again, overall, not a very strong market in terms of what we're looking at, right? And to see this level of grading going on is pretty cool, because what I think that means is that even though prices are going down, people are still buying, selling, trading, grading, which ultimately turns into graded cards. I'm making a video, buddy. All right, thank you. My kids. It's those of you that have been around long enough, y'all know what's up. Anyway, but even despite the drop in value and the drop in prices and the overall market going down, and some of these big monster cards continuing to lose tens upon thousands of dollars of value as time goes on, seemingly not really reaching a bottom. It's interesting to see that grading is still up. Now, one thing that we don't know is as they continue to chew through this, as they continue to put out this volume, what does their backlog look like? Now, I know they said that they cleared their backlog, right? This big mountain of stuff, they've cleared it. But as you guys have heard me talk about several times, a company that puts out a product or a service must maintain a healthy backlog in order to stay in business. And so I'm curious to see with these large levels of output, what their backlog looks like. And we don't have insight to that. So I have no idea. But what I wanted to look at next. All right. So we're here. All right. So yeah, 1.2, 121 for SGC, Beckett 71,000, which is again up 11% from last month. Now, here's what I wanted to look at, which was the breakdown by category. Now, TCG, which historically was the biggest piece of the pie, which it still is. Half of PSA's output is TCG cards. So clearly TCG has, said, hey, we're sending everything to PSA. And then coming off of their TCG special, SGC drops drastically, 19% from last month's. But they're running a special on baseball, or they ran a special on baseball last month and almost doubled their baseball output. So what's interesting to me is that as they put out specials, people gravitate towards them significantly. And the moment that special expires, they drop off pretty quickly. So what that tells me is that people love SGC. They will go there for grading. But if they're not running a special, they're not going to do it. People aren't going to go there. And, what does that say? Does that say SGC needs to drop their prices? If SGC wants to up their volume on a more consistent level, on a more consistent basis, then yes, overall they need to drop prices. But the way that I think SGC is playing this out, which is very smart to do, in my opinion, is that, okay, they may not be putting out the volumes that they're putting out, but their customer base is pretty damn loyal, I would say. And so as they're running these specials, they're capturing all these pockets and exposing all these people and all these pockets to SGC, and kind of putting themselves in a position where they can easily accept whatever influx comes in from these specials. You don't want to run a special and then all of a sudden not be able to handle the influx that you get from that special that you run. So I don't really see SGC looking to drop any prices anytime soon. I think with what they're putting out on a regular basis, not including the specials, seems to be taking care of their operations and making sure that they're profitable, which is ultimately the goal of every business. But it's just interesting to see big upswing in their baseball, which is the special that they ran. Big downswing in their TCG because I think that special is no longer active. Non-sports, soccer, hockey, nobody's really grading with them anyway. Basketball up 1%, football up 4%. But just look at SGC. Non-sports went up 41%. What could they possibly have done in non-sports that went up 41%? That's insane. Baseball up 31%. Football up 27%. Basketball up 18%. I mean, PSA just all across the board went absolutely bananas. I mean, I'll jump off of this. They're the king for a reason. What can I say? What can I say? 10-1 is basically what's going on. It's 10-1. For every 10 cards that PSA grades, SGC grades 1. And that's the reason why SGC is better at grading than PSA. Because PSA is not grading. They're doing this. PSA is doing this. Yeah, 9, 7, 3, 3, 2. These 4 right here, those are 9s, and then these 3 are 10s. That's my opinion. Fight me in the comments. Appreciate you guys watching as always. Love y'all.